Hey, y'all. Hold on a second. Shoot. Trying to like pin it. God, 16 people on here already. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all? How are y'all? Oh, crap. Hey. Hi. Hold on. I'm trying to like just adjust. Hold on a second. I don't think I'm doing a good job. Oh, thank you. Child. Whatever. I'm ready to face the week. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Ash. Ash, I'm gonna bring you on with me. Or do you want to come on? I know Brandie is joining too. So, Ash, let me know if you want to come on and I'll bring you on live, or do you want to just kind of stay in and answer some questions and provide links? Let me know. Or send a request. I'm waiting for Brandie to come on. But good morning, everyone. My name is Tracie. I'm the CEO and the founder of the NBDA. So thank you for being here. I'm trying to get a little bit better, just a tinge, not much. Don't hold me to it. Don't. Good morning, Toronto. Don't expect much. Okay, Brandie. Where you at, Brandie? Send your request to join. No, you don't have. Ash, you don't have to join. Ash, just stay in the chat to answer some questions. So we are. Oh crap! If you have a general question, you can let us know. Like put your question in the chat, and me and Brandie will answer during the time. What's up, Brandie?
Morning. How are you?
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. Let me see.
I can hear you. Okay, let me make sure I'm put my earbuds on. I would. Y'all hear Brandie?
Can y'all hear me? Let me see.
Okay, that was me. It was me.
Okay.
It was me. I told you.
That's fine. Good morning to you.
Good morning. My head look all big and shit.
You so silly.
Girl, I'm trying to get this angle right, but won't let me be great today. But anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's Monday. It is Monday. I'm excited. I like Mondays. Get the week started. How about you?
I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like when you work for yourself, it just kind of seems like the days just flow together.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
So Brandie, you guys, if you guys don't already know, Brandie is one of the founding members of the NBDA, which means you've been with us pretty much since the inception. The NBDA, I think, will be 5 years old this year. So we're in our 5th year, getting ready to go into our 6th. But Brandie is also an instructor with the NBDA. She teaches birth and postpartum. And I don't know why you're not a mentor, but I keep saying that, but I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave I know you mentor in your own business, but why you're like, cause that's just me. I always say why, but that's me applying a little pressure. That's me applying a little pressure.
Tracie. You know I'm here for it.
I'm trying to fix this.
I feel the same way.
About what? Oh, the angles. Child, I'm real particular about my angles. I am not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. So I asked Brandie to join me this morning, just cause you've never been on live with me. And I think it's good for people to see and to meet people who've been founding members, or just for us to ask or for them to answer or ask us general questions that you can answer too, that they don't always have to hear straight from me.
Yeah. I
love
it. I'm excited. It's so crazy that I feel like we've been around each other for so long and never done a live before. So I'm so excited about this.
I know. Ashley's in the comments just answering some questions too. So we have our first question. But
Okay.
before we get to that, Brandie, do you want to just talk about a little bit about you and your background and your experience since coming through us?
Yeah. And so everybody who knows me, especially in the doula world, knows I have so much love for Tracie, so much love for the NBDA. I have been around in these doula streets for this year is made 9 years, which is kind of crazy. When I first started off, I was working at a refugee resettlement agency, and so I was able to work with a lot of women from different parts of the world, which was amazing for me. And so, starting out, I did a lot of volunteer based because it went along with the job that I did. And so now having my own, doula business, I just really emphasize community and some of those traditions that I learned from different women, and especially a lot of the different parts of Africa that I was able to work with. And so I love the NBDA. I mean, it has been, I tell anybody and everybody who is a doula, if you are not, a part of the NBDA's directory, I mean, it pays for itself. I mean, hand over fist. When I was first looking for clients and wanted an avenue for clients who looked like me to find me, the NBDA, definitely stuck out. It has a great deal of community, but I mean, just oftentimes, if you're looking for a Black doula, people are going to go to the NBDA's website. And so you want to make sure that you're listed. You want to make sure you keep all your listings up to date, make sure everything that you offer is there. And then I think one of the things that I really try to do as an NBDA member is take advantage of everything that's to offer. And so anytime
You're really good at that too.
I think that people, so many people sign up for stuff, and doulas have this mindset, Tracie. Let me sign up for all the things instead of signing up for the things that really need me well and using those things, right? Let me be a part of every directory or pay for this or pay like stuff that we might not need, instead of leaning into the things that we do need and that we already are paying for. And so I'm like,
That's a good point.
anytime anytime you have something, I'm trying to be there. If it works in my schedule, when the ambassadors do stuff, I'm trying to jump on, just because I love community. And I think that we have a lot of great offerings in the NBDA that I don't see a lot of members taking advantage of, that have been super great for me. And so, yeah, I love the NBDA. I so enjoy the curriculum that we're able to teach in our trainings. I think it's amazing. And I've just seen, so many great things come from this community that's been built. And so I'm excited to be a part of it.
Why did you decide to become a trainer?
Yeah, and so funny story. When I first started, I had probably done every training, but I had not certified. So I started off doing a training with Donna, and I was like, okay, I'm not positive, but mind you, when I came to the birth world, I don't have any
Hold
children
on.
of my own.
Hold on a second, Brandie. You guys drop your questions in the question box so we can answer them collectively. Like the smaller questions, Ashley's going to be answering. She's going to kind of keep a lookout. And she's like Dandelion Legacy Doula. I think that's how you have it typed in the your handle, Ash. But if you want Brandie and I, or Brandie or I, to answer your questions, please drop them in the question box, because I'm sure you're not the only one with that question. Okay, go ahead, Brandie.
Yeah, so when I first started, I don't have any children of my own. I really came to this space with the knowledge that these women from different countries have really imparted to me. And so I was excited about the birth world, but I literally had no idea. I had never heard of a doula. Literally, I was at the birth of a woman. It was just kind of a part of my job to be with these women and walk them through the medical system here in America. And literally at a birth, I met a doula in the hallway. And I thought she was a nurse because she had on scrubs. Me and her having interaction. She's like, "No, I'm a doula." I'm like, "Okay, what's that? I might be doing some of that myself." And so did some research. And of course, when you first research, especially 9 years ago, the only thing you really seen was Donna, right? So I'm thinking that's the only track that you really could take. And so started there. Years later, did another training. And I think it is so interesting. And I say this with, some sarcasm, but really just a lot of realism, is that it's so hard to write a story without giving gratitude to the people who started the story. But somehow it is very easily done, right? In the birth workspace, it's like, oh, we can write this story and we can totally leave out, you know, where all of these things come from. And so I think that what you've done, Tracie, to create this curriculum that gives you a full scope picture of where these, you know, where these practices come from, why we need to honor our granny midwives, on to present day, and Black and brown women really taking back this, you know, ancestral work, but also understanding the business side. I love that we do a whole day on business. And I think that meshing, like literally making that a sandwich, is like the smartest thing that a curriculum could do in this space. And so I really just love the curriculum, and being able to have other Black and brown women come to this space, especially because when I first started, I was hard pressed to be in a room with other Black doulas, you know?
Girl, you take it from me. I think, well, I mean, I'm just at this point, yeah, I'm just kind of used to being the only, even being the CEO and the founder of the NBDA, into the notoriety that we've gained in such a short amount of time, how it's accelerated and it's like sought out not only by, you know, major media, but also major Fortune 500 companies. It's like, I'm still the only, you know what I'm saying? So I just believe that needs to change.
Yeah, I totally agree, Tracie. I do. I really, really do. But I think that, I mean, this is how that change happens. You really are on like the cutting edge of so much. And I feel like so many, you know, are coming behind you. So I'm excited to see it.
And it was always about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It was always about everybody else. And I think too, because of the selfless nature, and it's not serving one person's agenda, but also to help mitigate and alleviate the Black maternal death rate or morbidity rate in this country, that it serves so many purposes, or at least we try to. And I don't want to take, you know, Michelle and I actually go back and forth on the curriculum. We you know, we go back in and we look at like what's happening, how can it be stronger, what do we need to do to tighten up. We're always kind of putting our like you know, our pulse on it, just kind of watching in a sense. And there are things that are happening, you know, behind the scenes with the NBDA that the instructors don't even know about, but you guys will soon, that will also we try to hold our instructors to a level of, we have to hold you guys up to a level of credibility, because you guys are the ones who are out there now teaching. When I started, you know, the curriculum component of the NBDA, because at first it was the database, it was, you know, just me. And then when you guys came on a year or so ago, it was like, it was a welcome relief. I was like, thank God, you know, but it was also about making sure that just the instructors have what they need. And I do the periodic check-ins, you guys, with our instructors. I think I try to do with you guys like once a quarter. I do it with the mentors every 6 months, and I do it with instructors every 3 months. And then that's my way of taking the information in from you guys, because you guys are out there teaching. And what do we need to do? What do I need to do to help strengthen or mitigate or alleviate or correct the things that you guys are seeing firsthand? Because we always want things to be better. We can always get better. There's always room for growth. There's never not room to grow. There's always room for accountability, growth, restructuring, revamping. And it's for me, because I'm not out there working direct. I retired from birth, you know, about 2017, 2018, after about 17, 18 years of working directly with clients as a doula and as a midwife, and then coming back as a doula. And then teaching, and then not retired, but I stepped back and let you guys do it. And now, because and for me, it feels like I'm far removed. So you guys are really like my ears and eyes, you know, and what do we need to do? How do we make this better? How do we make it better for the community? How do we make sure the data serves itself? And what do we need to do for our instructors so you guys can be just stronger armed? And I know we are going to have another instructors launch for the NBDA members, people who qualify. I think I'll probably release that in May.
Okay.
And open it up. I'll release the information probably mid-May, open it up in June for a month for people to register. And then they will start their course for like the next 5 months and completing their necessary trainings and requirements. As long as they do that, then moving on to instructing come top of 2023. But it's still the same process. It's getting better. It's tightening up. You know, it's doing everything that we can do to ensure that we are putting the absolute best out there, because we don't get the same grace.
Yes. Oh my.
We don't get the same grace. Number one, Blacks are harder on each other. We're more critical of each other. We feel ourselves to, you know, like, oh, who they think over there. Because we know that, we also understand what you guys are facing on the front lines and dealing with clients. And to me, if you don't have that backhand history and knowledge of what happened, you know what I'm saying, with Dr. Marion Jones and Arnica, and, you know, did I say Arnica? Did I say her name right? Y'all know who I'm talking about. But the slave, you know, girl who he practiced all his procedures on and did 30 surgeries on, then how in the hell are you going to get up into a hospital and not understand where these policies and procedures and the racism and the implicit bias comes from? If you don't understand where we are, where we've been. Brandie, be quiet. So we have to know where we've been in order to understand where we're going. Oh. That just does not make sense, because otherwise what we're going to do is we're going to find ourselves in repeating the cycle or falling for bullshit. And we don't have that luxury. We don't have that, because if you don't understand what is happening before you from a firsthand basis, either seeing it or hearing it, then it will cost somebody's life.
Yes, so true. So,
you know, it's a life and death field.
Yes, and I think that section that we cover, I think that what I've seen is that people who take the training, because even when you come to training, you would assume that a lot of things that we talk about, you probably know, like, because that's probably what brought you to the field, but oftentimes they don't know the depth of it. And so understanding that helps impart to them, like, this is really life and death. Like, some people come and they're like, oh, this is nice, this is cute, like, for whatever reason, taking it very lighthearted, when no, this is like somebody's life. You know, women are really dying. I know. For what I mean, you would think that, and I guess because this is our world, when I step outside of this and I talk to people who have no idea about the maternal death rate, I'm like, what do you mean you have no idea? You know, like, this is real. Like, this is real life. They're losing their lives, sisters, mothers, friends, you know. And so I think that you can't teach this without making sure that that part is, like, established and understood, you know?
Right. You're right. You are right. So let's get to some questions. If you guys have questions, please drop them in the question box. Ash, thank you for manning the chat. I always like to keep one of our folks in there kind of just handling the chat. I think Akila dropped in too, so I don't know if she's still here. But Akila, if you're still here, can you help Ash answer some questions? So I'm going to open up the chat box. Okay, so is there financial support or scholarships for students who want to become a doula? This is one of the number one questions that we get all the time, and we can only offer scholarships based on like a donation level of donation. In 2020, we saw a lot of donation. I call it white guilt money because that's really what the fuck it was. And I put it to use. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just say that if folks feel guilty, then trust me, I'm going to take it, and they want to donate, then I'm going to make sure I'm going to quantify the number of donations, and then we're going to offer the scholarships. We don't currently have any. However, there's something that I'm working on behind the scenes. So hopefully, and I just literally sent that email to another major Fortune 500 company who is looking to partner with us. So I'm hoping, I think they're hoping too, that the partnership, they took it back to the powers that be. They researched the Black maternal death rate in the country and how could they do their part, kind of just as Walmart did. And Walmart, I almost said Walmart and I, but we do. It feels like Walmart and we just have such a good And I'm so proud of them. I mean, Walmart gets a lot of flack, but if y'all knew what they have coming down the pipeline, you guys would be really, really impressed because it's not easy to impress me.
Yeah.
So let me just say that. And with this other company that's looking to partner with us, I literally just sent an email. So hopefully, their level of proposal in working with the NBDA, because I never ask them for money. They always come to us. And if it works out how I suggested the structure be, then hopefully we'll be able to offer some more scholarships. I hope that makes sense. That was a long ass answer. That was a long ass answer, but that's how it generally works. So here's another question. Can doulas who are certified by other organizations still join or participate with the NBDA? You want to answer that, Brandie, and I can piggyback off of what you say?
And so, yes, if you did not certify with the NBDA, you can still be a part of the NBDA's directory, and you should still be a part of the NBDA's directory. When I first joined the NBDA, I was not certified through. Actually, it's so funny, Tracie, because I think back to when I first became a member, and of course, it was we were not a certifying body yet. We were, like you said, the directory, and so I had certified with someone else. But I remember all of the lives that I would jump on with you on, and people would ask you every single live. Somebody would ask, when are you going to start doing trainings? Every live.
I tried to get out of it, but I'm so glad that I didn't.
And you know, I don't do trainings. And so, but no, you don't. You know, like Tracie said, when the NBDA first was in its inception, it was a directory. And so if you are a part of another organization, definitely still go through the process of joining the NBDA. There's a lot of things that come along with membership. Of course, one of the best parts in my eyes as a business standpoint is being a part of the directory for families to find you.
And then to piggyback off of what Brandie says, as long as you have your training verification and or certification from the other org or company, that you upload that during the joining process or becoming a member. And really what a member, the main thing about being a member is being listed on the directory, but you guys still have to work your own business. I don't want you to think that it's, this one-stop shop and we market and advertise for you. We do not. That is your job. That is your responsibility because it is your business to handle and manage on a day-to-day basis. And then also, if you are looking to, we have people sometimes think that somebody else's certification will work for our certification. You can't if you are looking to become certified through us, you will still have to go through that process. So it doesn't matter if you are trained with another company or certified through them. If you are looking to have the NBDA stamp behind you, then you will still have to go through the process, but you do not have to be certified through us to be a member. And that's one of the things I know that is, different from other organizations or other companies is that you can be certified or have trained anywhere and still be listed in the directory and reap those benefits and being a member. But if you're looking to actually hold a piece of paper or the certification, then you definitely have to take a training with us. Do you see any, hold on, I don't want to, let me see, miss any questions. God. Okay, let me see. Another question. Are mentors still available during the training certification process? So yes, mentors are available. And it's actually one of the requirements for certification or certifying is that you complete your training. So you have the 24 hours of in-class training, and then you go through a minimum of 3 months with our NBDA approved mentors, which again, I don't understand why Brandie is not on that list, but I digress. But our trainers can mentor their own trainees. So that's one way, Brandie, I know that you're able to work with your students. But outside of that, you don't have to be a member of the NBDA to access our mentors. They're listed on the website. Ash, can you list the website? There, thank you, Ash.
Okay.
She's on it. She got the link there. And you can find them there. Mm-hmm. So anything else? How do you like working with your trainees, Brandie?
I love it. I
They
absolutely
love you too.
love
We get a lot of great feedback about you. A
Really?
lot.
I
Hmm.
love going that transition from training into mentorship. It's just a special time. You get to see them from the time that they train into, helping them to build their business. And it is amazing. I absolutely love it. I didn't know that I would love it as much as I do.
Hmm.
I do. You get to really build like foundational relationships with these individuals, and it's amazing to see like some of their ideas. Like I love when people come with newness, like breathing fresh air into space. Like, oh, I would love to, do like just these things that aren't already being done. So I love it. I really, really do.
Hmm. And I also think it's a good bridge too for our instructors to maintain that level of continuity with their trainees. Kay, can you get the things from the door? I think the balloons are here. I think. Um, Today's my daughter's 18th birthday, y'all. So we're trying to like get multiple things done. Yeah, they're here. Um, Crap, I got a text. So I think that's one benefit from the trainee standpoint is that they can stay consistent with their instructors to help see them through. And what I like too is that I'm hearing like Michelle has people that have been with her for a year, child. I know Leah offers trainings for up to a year. So people are getting into the mentorship and not going nowhere.
Sticking
They
around.
stand with they'll meet all their certification requirements with the NBDA and then be like, yeah. And even I know Ash has people who are longer than the initial 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't offer it formally, but I have people from my first training that I did, and they still text me, and we still hop on Zoom to answer questions. So I do love it. And I think that, like you said, that continuity of care, even for people that are newer doulas, like that's important. And so I think that is, that's definitely a reason to train with us too. Like just having somebody that's going with you throughout, your whole trajectory is really cool.
And also too, like the reason why I decided to add that component is because it was like I didn't want people to train with us and then feel like, what now? What
Yes,
next? What
yes,
do I do? And because, oftentimes when people train, they leave a training so energized, or they feel like, oh my God, it's just been a whole bunch of information that's been dumped on me. And how do I process this? Or some people are just like ready to go right away. And, so I think the mentorship component is like, okay, now that you've done this part, now here's step two. And then simultaneously you can, if you choose to, list your newly launched practice and become a member of the NBDA to begin to accelerate your business, but you have that component. And what I like with our mentors is that they don't play. I like warning people, like, don't get over there. Y'all hold them accountable. And that is what I like, because there's something that you said, Brandie, that has always stuck with me from the moment I heard you say it, was like, it's what you do on a day to day behind the computer from a business standpoint that allows you to be with your clients. It's not the other way around.
Yes, I firmly believe that. And I tell anybody who trains me, I tell them, do not sign up for mentorship until you are ready to work. It's okay to go into training with these high hopes, these ideas, things you want. That's okay. Write those things down, get them out. But when you're ready to work, it's go to mentorship. Mentorship should stretch you. It should pull things out of you. It should make you into the people you want to be. It should, it should just be very lackadaisical. It really should be, a little uncomfortable at times. And so,
Right.
but I tell everybody, if you are ready and signing up to do mentorship, it means that you're ready to put in some work.
Right. And I like I'm teaching a mindset leadership. What the hell is the name? Uh, Master class. This Saturday, I'm teaching it, and it's a 6-hour training. And it's not even a training, it's actually a master class, because one of the things that we see is that our mindset around business lacks severely. and people don't understand how to transition that. And I think you and Ashley are really good about kind of watching me from afar and mimicking.
Yeah.
You guys are really, really good. But can you speak more how the business aspect really, why you honed in on that so much?
Yeah, and so it very much to exactly what you said. I love that me and Ash do that because I feel like when you are embarking on a new journey, you need to find, and you said this, and it's so funny because it's exactly what I do. When I want to do something, I'm okay with not knowing how to do it. You find the people who know how to do it, that's doing it well, and you watch them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I first came into the space, like I said, I didn't know very much about, doula services. What I knew was, like other kind of businesses, things like that. I took a intensive, it was an entrepreneur intensive at Emory School of Business, which I loved, but it didn't teach me how to do business in this space. And so in order to learn those things, I've had to watch the women or the individuals who are the leaders in this field. And I think, unfortunately, so many times Black and brown women, we already want to be the best when we start something. And you can be really, really amazing. But if you are not doing that thing yet, it's okay to be humble and watch people that are great at it. And I being a student of like life and of really dope Black women, like I find it, like I will hold on and just kind of look and see what you do, because I think that finding other amazingly dope Black women, like it's like finding a jewel. And so honing in on the business part, because when I first trained, though I did not certify with them, the first training that I went to, it was maybe 23 people there, not very many of them Black women, maybe 4 or 5 of us. But at this point, none of the people that I trained with that were Black women are still doing doula services. And this happened shortly after, we were kind of, how everybody do after a training, we in the group chats, we all finna do it, we gonna change the world. And within the first couple years, nobody's doing it anymore. And so taught me was that Black women are able to be doulas. That's a given. It's ancestral. We are caretakers of the world. Like, that's just kind of the job that we've taken on.
Come on, somebody.
Another soapbox, but that's the job that we've taken on, and that's been burdened to us. So taking care of people is not an issue. The issue is being able to monetize that so you can live comfortably off of something that you enjoy doing. And that was the problem. Like, I'm like, I see y'all out here, y'all love doing this, but ain't nobody making no money. I can't be doing this and not paying my bills. So what I realize is, like, this is not an issue of whether or not Black women are meant to be doulas or can, be in this space. It's an issue of how do Black women get in this space and set up shop so they can stay in this space. Because you can't stay here if you can't make it make financial sense. So I just think
and that never made sense to me. Like, Brandie, I was like, it would be, because I was like, I think from I want to say I came back into the field full time in 2012. So that's basically 12 years of actually being in the field, but came back in full time because I was notorious for taking breaks because you need it. And I think by 2013, 14, something like that, I was clocking 6 figures. 2013, 2014. And it's been just consistent ever since. And I just didn't understand why I didn't see more of me. That's why I'm so adamant about sharing information. Real bosses, like people who are actual, like real leaders or they don't hide the truth. I think I don't have the crab in a barrel mentality. It's like, why can't you make it? It's enough room for everybody to eat. And so that is so essential, because everything I was telling my daughter yesterday or the day before yesterday, everything that I learned as a business person, I had to learn on my own due diligence, my own resources, taking trainings, certifying with women-led organizations for entrepreneurship, I had to do it on my own. I didn't come from this. So it's like, well, why aren't people like saying it? Because the shit ain't hard. It's just about consistency. It's really not hard. But the problem is because we come from a society of instant gratification. People don't see that bigger long-term picture. You really have to plant the seeds and do the work because it's yours, and then you're able to reap the benefits. But it really makes sense in my mind, like, why can't you save someone's life, give them a beautiful experience with you, and then also, like you said, be able to monetize and live comfortably?
Yes.
And I just think that we it's us. And that's why when people try to come to, I'm sorry, Brandie, to cut you off, but when people try to come through the NBDA, when these like, um, either if it's press related or major Fortune 500 companies, don't say community doula, because I'm gonna correct you real quick. I stop it at the gate, just so y'all know. Like, I hit them at the gate. We're not. They deserve a livable wage. And when people ask me, well, how much? And then I say, well, we're going to start at $1,500 per doula. And we're going to start there. And I know with the partnership, the alliance with Walmart, I know they're looking to up what we currently offer, because they asked me, and I'm going to tell you that. And I tried to do that. So what's the medium that I can kind of, from the higher end, like the Bay Area and New York, and then kind of, level it out, because I just believe that no doula, Black, brown, or gay, straight, indifferent, I don't give a shit, but no doula should come out of a training, earning or requesting and demanding less than $1,000 per birth. I don't care if you knew. You already know more than the birthing person.
So true. So true.
I don't care, So, and we have to stop saying I'm a doula in training. It's like, no, you're a newly trained doula now in the process of certification, should you choose to.
Yeah.
I love
that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I hit them at there. We don't do that term, and it's okay. Not knocking, people who look at themselves as community doulas, but we need to be able to understand our value and what we bring to this space, because everything, like everything else, was stolen and monetized on by the others. Okay, now that we understand that, this field, like you said earlier, is no different. But in doing that, we are changing the narrative.
Yes. And I think that you make such a good point, because, so many times, whether it be in training.
Snickers says hi. Snickers says hi today.
Why was I going to ask you about
Snickers? You're getting so big, huh?
I was going to ask you about Snickers, Tracie.
Girl, Snickers getting so big. I used to do. Okay, go ahead, Brandie. Because he over here, like, trying to walk on my keyboard and everything.
Every time I have Snickers on the live, I'm like so distracted. Like, what is Snickers? But no, I think that, like, whether it be in conversation and passing with other doulas, or especially in training scenarios, I always hear, well, I want to help the Black community. And I love that. I absolutely, I think 90% of the clientele that I serve is Black or brown, but the reality is that this is a mindset issue, that's the reason why I love that you address mindset so thoroughly, and that you offer things within the organization that address mindset, because for whatever reason, Black and brown people are convinced that Black and brown people don't pay for stuff, and that is just not a reality. Like, I'm like, I understand that you want to help Black people, but don't you buy stuff? Like, do you buy stuff? Do you have money to purchase things that you want? And so the idea that Black people don't pay for doula services, it always baffles me. It just, I'm like literally baffles me, because I'm like, 90% of my clients are Black and brown families. They all pay. They pay their retainers. They pay the rest. And when I tell you, I don't have issues when it comes to payment. They pay for services. And so their mindset is that Black and brown people are not going to pay for me to be their doula. That's the issue. It's not, they aren't the issue. Because I know families growing up that, they will pay for something they wanted before something they needed. So if they want you to be their doula, they gonna pay for it. Okay.
That's why. And another thing, you can never count anybody's money. That's another thing I think people need to understand. You never go into a setting and say, I just believe people make provisions for what it is they want. And as long as you work with the families, like offer payment arrangements and, give a schedule and, hold true to your policy, that's how you get it done. and making sure that you're priced, competitively in your market, not outpricing yourself, not devaluing yourself either. There's a way to do it and set up shop, like you said earlier, and able to monetize on that. And that is, I think, Brandie, that's when I was teaching a lot. That was the number one thing that it's the value mindset. And unfortunately, we've been taught to devalue ourselves, but you have to teach people how to treat you at the onset. And let me say this. A lot of my successes have come from failures, and I just corrected them. That's it. And it was just about the consistency. And then once I got it, whatever the lesson that I needed to learn, then I share the information. So, and I do that because I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes I made. Let me help alleviate a step, if I can, in your journey to help you get to where you need to go faster. And that has always been the reason why we try to set it up the way that we do, is to give you guys actual, tangible, teachable, applicable skills that can be, you can use in the infrastructure and building your brand or company or business or practice that you can then leverage. And that is what there are some people who have like so many skill sets that they're just like giving out for free. Girl. And then people also too have to understand you have to have a bottom number, and your bottom number, like what is your monthly overhead? You have to minimize your expenses and your outgoing, and then maximize on your income. I can afford a Chanel bag. I still ain't got one.
Do I need that?
Because for me, that's not my value, where my value lies.
Yeah.
I can. And I will just sit and be like, okay, I said when I was going to hit this certain number, I'm going to go buy a Chanel bag. Girl, I done hit that number and then moved on. And it's because it's just not where my value lies. I just don't believe in that. I believe in, like, how can I put it back into something so it can grow larger? It's an asset thinking. It's not a liability way of thinking. And so it goes back to, what do we need to do? How do we need to, change or, embed processes that are help amplify, and that people like you, Brandie, can just kind of mimic, rinse and repeat.
Yes. That's the goal, right? That's the goal. Like, why reinvent the wheel? If we figure it out, let's hand it out to each other. Like, that's what making sure we all can eat, making sure the community is well taken care of.
And we learn from each other. Like, I learn from you just as much as you learn from me. And I think, when we're not above reproach, I fuck up all the time. The fuck? I do. Even sitting up at the, the helm of, granted, some shit that comes through, the desk, I was like, a lot of times I'm shaking my head, but sometimes it's my fault. So let me get in there and let me correct it. So, because if it's an error, then it's not just affecting one person, it's affecting other people. So let me get in there and fix it.
Yeah.
What else I was gonna say? Oh, Ash, can you drop the link to the master class that I'm teaching this weekend for people? So it's Saturday from 9 to 3, and it's interactive. I never first of all, I don't teach master classes anymore, but I did it because of the mentors. I decided to do it, because of the mentors and, the things that were mentioned, because I don't like seeing, granted, we can't fix everything, but as much as I can mitigate, I'm going to do my best to do that.
Yeah, and to address, yeah.
So, Brandie, when's your next training?
Myself, I have some trainings in the work. My next virtual training is in August, but I am wanting to do a training in person.
Good.
Watching COVID, I have my space picked out, so I'm thinking it'll be the end of April that I'll do an in-person training here in Atlanta. And so I haven't put it on our calendar yet, just because I was watching kind of the COVID numbers, but I'm thinking either the end of April or the beginning of May. We'll do
it beginning of May, because we want to give people time to register for it.
Perfect. Yeah. Beginning of May, maybe even mid-May. I'm pretty flexible in May, like that springish area. I just really like, as much as I've scheduled all of my online ones because they're easy to schedule, but as much as I love doing it virtually, I'm kind of ready to get back in person, see some people, actually see some people, touch some people, and make sure we can see what it's like in person, because I feel like it's about time that we try it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, I think like get it up, make sure, it's all fully uploaded, and now, we'll do our parts and get it up on our end, on the back end too. And then that way people can begin registering for your trainings. I know Ashley has a training this week, Anna, and right? No, Ashley just completed a training. She had a private training this weekend. She Ray taught a public training, Ash taught a private training. So
Okay.
they had, those two trainings happen simultaneously. Yeah, we have another question. So we're gonna wrap up. We'll like in the next 5 to 10 minutes, because we got things to do here. Okay, hold on. Brandie, I'm gonna let you take that one.
How old would you recommend a doula be when starting? I mean, I don't think there's an age limit at all. My friends and my sister, I had the opportunity of adopting her years ago. She is a junior in college now, and we call her the baby doula because she's just around us in the world of doula. And so she's never trained, but she knows way too much about being a doula. But I don't think that there's an age. I think for like study's sake, maybe for like hospitals and things like that, you might at 18. But as far as like when it's too young to know this information, I don't think that there's an age on that at all. Starting off young, because I think a lot of being a doula also is just being aware of things. I feel like so much of what I've learned, I feel like, why didn't I know this growing up as a Black woman or as a person with reproductive organs that make babies? Why didn't I know some of these things, right? And so I think that the knowledge can start very young, but as far as maybe for some of those liabilities and like business running kind of things, maybe 18 would be a good age to be practicing possibly as a doula.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So any last words, Brandie, that you have to the folks, and how people can find you? Oh, you guys heard her hand. I think your stuff is somewhere in here. I think y'all can see it. I'm going to also save this live too, Brandie, and I'll put your information there too.
Perfect. Well, thank you as always. Thank you to Ash and Akila. I love you guys. It's been a pleasure. Just, love even being in the same circles with y'all. I will definitely get the information out for my next training. If anybody, needs anything from me, feel free to DM me. But thank you as always, Tracie. It's been a pleasure.
You too. Thank you for coming on live with me. It was so good. It was good having another person.
I know, live is weird going by yourself. Like, who am I talking to for real?
I don't know, you kind of get used to it. You kind of get used to just kind of, as I mean, you're good at this part too, reading them and stuff and working and talking to the people. But I think Ash has done a really great job. Thank you, Ashley, for getting in here and answering all the questions and dropping the links. And but if you want just general information about us that leads to all the other stuff, just go to blackdoulas.org and it'll lead you to the trainings. And what else? It'll lead you to the directory if you're looking for a doula in your area. We want to really fill it the Midwest. I think that's our for me, looking at like the bigger picture, the target is like, getting more doulas who are registered with the NBDA in the Midwest, because we definitely got the East Coast. We got, the Southeast, West, and, the West Coast is coming through stronger. But we want to hit up that Midwest, that part. Illinois is good, but we want some Indiana in there. We want some more Iowa. I know Jasmine's in Iowa. We want, more Wisconsin, Montana, like those rural Midwestern areas. So, and you can always cancel your membership at any time if you don't like it. I'm not kidding. You do have the power to do that. But yeah, and certification. Thank you, Ashley. The requirements for certification. What else is up there? The mentorship information is up there. All that stuff.
I always say the doula docs that you have.
Oh yeah, the doula docs. Yep, that stuff is there. The shop for people who are looking to get, the documents that they need to get their practice kicked off, birth, postpartum, backup doula agreement, and our attorney has signed and sealed off on those. So those are actual legal documents. Yes. Another thing that I want to clarify too, because it seems I have to constantly reiterate this because I'm Black or we're Black, is that we are a national licensed certifying body. That is what we are. Oh God, my phone is Brandie's phone on pause? Whose phone on pause? Brandie, I don't know. Let me know if you guys can still hear me because I know Brandie's phone is cycling. Um, but we are a nationally certifying body. So just know that when you receive our stamp of approval, it is an actual official stamp of approval. And I know behind the scenes, we are working to get on more insurance lists. I know Akila's working on some, and I know Ashley is working on others. So just know that. Okay. Thank you, Brandie. I know somebody probably called and interrupted you and interrupted us. But does anybody have any questions before we get off and we're done? Okay. All right. So once again, my name is Tracie. I'm the CEO and the founder of the NBDA. As you guys see, we don't do it alone. I don't do it alone. It definitely takes, we're stronger together. And thank y'all for rocking with us for an hour. And thank you, Brandie, for being my co-host. So next week, let's see who I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna reach out to somebody. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what our next Monday topic is gonna be. So y'all have a great Monday, have a great week. And if you have any questions, just hit us up on our website, blackdoulas.org. I'll sign it off. Talk